Okay, I'm back. Welcome to the second part of this self-harm awareness session. I hope you enjoyed the first part, so here's the second. Where was I up to there? Yeah, went to London, editorial board meeting. Mark rang me back. I saw I was still interested and I said yes. I'll share at this point that I actually became the editor of that magazine, a national magazine, for over 2 years. Something I'm very, very proud of, because I never thought I was capable of writing stuff, but there you go. Try anything, give it a go. You never know, you might enjoy it and you might actually find you've got a talent. So Mark rang me back and he said, Steve, the first thing I would like you to do is go down to the House of Parliament and interview Andy Burnham, who was the health secretary at the time. So I went to Primark, spent £6 on a new suit, and got the shoes thrown in for out. Yeah, £6, really splashed out. Went off down to the House of Parliament. I was interviewing Andy Burnham. I found him a canny guy. Can't stand politics. Don't talk to me about politics. Not interested. Yeah. But I found him okay to talk to. A little side story. As I was speaking to Andy Burnham, I stepped back and gave this bloke an awful bang. I looked and it was David Cameron covered in makeup. Yeah, covered in makeup. Right. I was told he was going on the telly, okay, but I've got my suspicions. I'll let you decide for yourself. Anyway, there you go. So I wrote a piece. And I'd been somewhere I never thought I would ever, a place I'd only see on telly, the House of Parliament. So I got a lot out of that. And then Mark said we've been invited to Lambeth Palace to meet the Archbishop of Canterbury. And we went down there, Lambeth Palace, not as posh as it sounds, it's actually fallen a bit inside. But we had cucumber sandwiches and coffee with the Archbishop. Found him a canny bloke, good old chat to him. And then I think the biggest turning point in my life came as invited to have dinner with Lord Tenby at the House of Lords. So off I went to Primark again, got the matching tie this time and the waistcoat. Headed off down to the House of Lords, and I was standing outside with Mark having a smoke and a chat, and got that famous tap on the shoulder off him. Do me a favour, Steve. Yeah, what's that, Mark? When you go inside, will you stand up and tell your story? Well, I stood up in front of 250 people in those parts of me shaking I didn't even know I had. And what an experience that was. 10, 11 years later, I've been public speaking ever since. That was something I never thought I was capable of, and I think the only reason I agreed to do that at the House of Lords was because I thought I'd never get another chance. If you make a mess of it, so what? How many people can say they've stood up in the House of Lords? I actually found I had something I enjoyed. I'm not going to call it a talent, because like I said, going back, can't praise myself, but something I enjoyed. And I've been public speaking for the last 10, 11, 12 years and thoroughly enjoying it, yeah. So I then found out Mark was a trainer, training service users such as myself at the time to turn negative thoughts into positive, and I used to follow him around the country. Never been around the country in my life, and I think I've been to just about every city now. And I would help by handing pens and papers out to help Mark out, as you do. And we're at Manchester University one day and he said to me, Steve, do you ever fancy running a bit of training? And I said, well, when I've got a bit more confidence, Mark, I'll certainly think about it, like. And he said, you're running the afternoon. Love the way Mark worked with me. He always pushed me and didn't give me time to think. It works for me, it doesn't work for everybody, but it worked for me. And I was achieving stuff and doing stuff that I couldn't dream of, being capable of. And I actually went on to become a trainer with Mark, delivering training, and just incredible. Anyway, in amongst all this happening, I was introduced to, by my support worker, I must admit, to Launchpad, which is mental health service user involved in Newcastle. And I met a guy there called Alistair Cameron. And when I first met Alistair, he is way, way, way more educated than me. By God, that man's got a brain on him. He's so supportive. What a fantastic man. He's played a major part in my life. And do you know what it is? He gives me opportunities and he lets me get on with it. And that trust, you can't buy that. So Alistair's a major part of my life. So I got involved with Alistair and he said, look, Steve, we're doing some stuff at Northumbria University on the social work programme. Have you ever had any involvement with social workers? I said, my daughter. And when I had cancer, that off-duty social worker, he said, you'd be perfect for this, Steve. Probably guess I said yes, and we went up, Alistair, myself, and another group of service users, great people, really good people. And never forget walking up that path at Northumbria University. I thought, you know what, I'm never coming back here again. I felt so out of place. modules, lecturers, students. Oh, I thought, God, this isn't for me. But you know what? I actually enjoyed it. And for the last 10, 11 years, I've been doing stuff at Northumberland University, and I'll give you an example of that. We started off with a group work with Alistair, and then I was being asked to interview students for the places on the degree, masters and undergrad, every year. Love that. Absolutely love doing that, because that is actually making a decision about a person's life, and it's a really important decision. I absolutely love that. It's not about the power for me, it's just seeing somebody coming into the social work programme, maybe not a lot of knowledge, and then going out and qualifying in a community with a career. That to me is invaluable, yeah, and being a part of that. So I interview students, obviously not on my own, with another member of staff, yeah, joint decision kind of thing. I do the odd lecture on positive risk there, run self-harm awareness sessions, do an amazing thing called simulation training with students. It's all new to Northumberland University, the simulation stuff, but if you get an opportunity, wow. And I do loads of group work with students, help with dissertations, stuff like that, and that has led on to other universities and students contacting me for help with their dissertations around mental health or self-harm. You know, anything that I've got any experience of, I will help people. So I still work at Northumberland University 11 years later, and it's a major part of my life. I'm actually an associate there now, something I never thought I was capable of. And I've had the privilege of chairing the Service User and Carer Social Work Committee for the last 6-7 years. Very proud of that, because Steve O'Driscoll chairing meetings? I think not. Give it a go, who knows. And then Alistair introduced me to a campaign called Time to Change. You probably all heard of it, the stigma campaign, Ruby Wax, Frank Bruno, all these people talking out. And I got heavily involved with that, and I actually had my face on the side of buses in London. Not the back of the bus, before you say it. It was actually the side of the bus, not the back, yeah? I haven't got the face like the back of a bus, side of a bus. And I had a little strapline next to me picture saying, people would rather talk to me about my cancer than my mental health, which is true, because when I was diagnosed with cancer, all these people that didn't want to know me because of my mental health were all, oh, is there anything I can do for you, Steve? I'm like, no, I needed your help then, not now. Okay, I'm fine. So there you go. And I started delivering training for Time to Change as well, which is another thing I absolutely love. That's went a bit quiet lately because the regional coordinator, Angela Slater, another amazing lady, can't thank enough for all her support, has now went on to bigger and brighter things, and I wish her luck with that. So as you can probably see, I was starting to get life back together. I was kind of back on benefits at this time. Not a lot of money, but enough to get by, and it was all voluntary. Really, really, really enjoyed myself. And, God, I got a letter off the benefits agency, Fitness for Work, Arden House, you'll all have heard of that. Went up to Arden House, I was grilled. I wouldn't say I was interviewed or spoken to by anybody. I was grilled for 2.5 hours about my mental health and physical health by somebody. And I thought this guy was actually showing a bit of empathy. I thought he understands where I come from. After 2.5 hours, I says, what's going on? When's this going to end? And he said, right, we'll end it here. I says, what happens next? He says, well, a decision maker will ring you and just take it from there, Steve. We'll bend over backwards to help. Yeah, right. I was actually on the stage at Bournemouth University doing a presentation, could feel the phone vibrating, couldn't answer it, came outside after the presentation, rang them up. Sorry, missed your call. Oh, you're being very uncooperative, Mr. O'Driscoll, so we're stopping all your benefits. Bend over backwards to help, weren't they? So I said, what on earth am I supposed to do? They said, when you get back to Newcastle, go to your local job centre, walk in, ask to see a job advisor, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. Took their advice, got back to Newcastle the next day, went to the ByCare job centre. Walked in, asked to see a job advisor, and was politely told you can't just walk in here and see somebody. So me being me, I said, you know what it is? You can shove your benefits up your... words to that effect. I'll let you make your own mind up about that one. And as soon as I came out, I thought, what on earth have you just done, Steve? But I went to see this guy, the wonderful man, Alistair Cameron. Wasn't a problem. Alistair says, look, Steve, have you ever thought of working for yourself kind of thing, making a living that way? Never even crossed my mind. And thanks to Alistair, I now have a contract with Mental Health Concern. So I'm actually employed, and I work for Northumberland University, Newcastle University, do stuff with Time to Change, just do stuff, that much stuff. I absolutely love it. And the thing about with the stuff I do, I'm not doing the same thing day in, day out. Each day is different. One day I might be doing stuff for Alston, next day I could be at the Recovery College, another great place. Haven't heard of it, Google it, get the Google going. We Coco in Newcastle, meeting other amazing people, all with lived experience, and amazing place to be, supportive. Can't promote it enough, it's just Google it and have a look anyway. And like I say, then I could be interviewing the next day, and then I might have a day off. So life's good. But as I keep going on about this beautiful daughter of mine, Vicky, I was doing a presentation in York, and I heard this guy shouting tickets and passes. I thought, I know that voice. It's my stepson I hadn't seen for 20 years. I don't get on with him, which is fair enough. But I got my daughter's new surname and the kind of an area where she was living, so progress. I mean, I'd spoken to loads of lecturers at Northumbria about tracing my daughter, because I'd written 2 books. Somebody said, you should write a book, Steve. So I wrote a couple of books. This one's for Vicky, this one's for Vicky too. The first one's about my illness, the second one's about my recovery, because I don't look at what I do now as an excuse for what happened to my daughter, and I never will. And I had them printed, had them on Amazon, sold 300 copies, got no royalties, so I took them off, and now I just shared them with people. And the lecturer at Northumbria said, have you ever heard of After Adoption, a Gateshead service for finding adopted children? Never heard of it. And she said, look, free service in Gateshead, live in Newcastle, got to be referred by a social worker, knew loads of social workers. So I got referred. They took all the details, and 6-7 months later, I hadn't heard anything. I rang up and I was told there was a mistake with my case. Stage 1 was £700, God knows how much, or how many more stages there were. Couldn't afford it. And then I met another guy through work, and he knew this guy in Kent, kind of a Friends Reunited, kind of old army fella that puts old buddies back together, that kind of thing. I rang him up, and he asked the details and stuff, and I said, hang on, before we go any further, how much do you charge? He said, give me 30 quid for my time. And I thought, well, that's got to be a lot better an option than the one I had before, 700 for stage 1. True to his word, he got back in touch. There was a letter on my doorstep about 3-4 days later with a list of addresses in the northeast. And it took me about another month to type this letter up and personally sign it. And Alistair kindly printed them out for me. The kind of thing, I'm looking for such and such, born on such and such. If it's not you, sorry for disturbing you. Yeah, that kind of thing. And I was getting replies off people phoning up saying, I'm sorry, it's not who they're looking for, which I thought was great. Another one to tick off the list. But I didn't get anywhere with that. And everywhere I went, I was told it was the child's decision, not mine. I totally get it. The protection of the child is more important, yeah. So I thought, I've got to keep going. I'll try. And an amazing thing happened, yeah. Well, work, having structure in my life, facilitating self-harm groups, and delivering self-harm stuff, structure in my life, and everything was just clicking into place. Take my medication regularly again, had a few quid in my pocket, health was getting better. I had social contacts. I had people I could ring if I was feeling crap, and they understood me. There wasn't like false empathy, do you know what I mean? So I then moved on to a 1-bedroom flat in Baker, in the Baker Wall, where I still live now. And this is a home. Everything I've got in here is bought and paid for. And I have to share this with you because on 5th of September 2017, I took a day off work. And I hate social media, Facebook, stuff like that. I shouldn't say hate, I detest it. And I thought I'll have a mess around, type this name in, see if I can find my daughter. Seen this girl on Facebook, and I messaged I should say, looking for such and such, if it's not you, I'm sorry, and the reasons why. Got a text back 2 minutes later, it's me. Can you imagine that? I swear to God, I cried for 12 hours. I just couldn't believe that I'd actually found my daughter. One of the most emotional moments in my life. I tried to ring my mum to share me good news, and I was crying, obviously upset, and she thought I'd been in an accident. And me and my daughter arranged to meet at the gate, not the back gate in the garden, obviously. The gate in Newcastle is like a big shopping complex, entertainment complex. And I'll never forget that day when I seen my daughter walking up the street with her partner Haran, another lovely guy, and pushing a pram. I've got he'll be nearly 3 now, a 3-year-old grandson called Zach, and I absolutely love and adore that little fella. Amazing. And my daughter, I have to tell you about my daughter, don't I? I gave her the books anyway with the few quid I'd made, and I thought that was a nice way to answer some of these awkward questions. Also found out that my wife had took her own life. Very, very sad thing, but she's in a better place now. And me and my daughter Vicky were like texting. Now I would send a text. Now I'd like a text back in the same century if possible, you know what I mean, or the same week is good enough. But I was always looking at the phone waiting for these texts. And I kept saying to Vicky, is there any questions you want to ask? And believe it or not, Vicky said, no, I just want to build a future with you. How mature and responsible and understanding is that? From Vicky, who's been through the adoption process, yeah. Absolutely amazing. Vicky, yeah, this amazing news of what? My daughter, bringing up 2.5, 3-year-old grandson, yeah, her son, and got a degree as well in business management. That's some task, isn't it? Something to achieve. She actually did that. So that'll just show she's got a head on her shoulders as well. And I'm so, so proud of her. Really proud of her. So life now, got job, got contacts, got people in my life, and I've got my daughter in my life, and that is the most important thing ever, and my grandson and my mum. Okay, they are support to me. Now, my daughter, can you believe it, trusts me enough to actually look after my grandson for weekends and stuff like that. And it is just such an amazing thing and something I never ever thought I would see. My daughter, most beautiful person I could ever wish to meet. I couldn't wish for a better daughter. She is so understanding, shows me a lot of love, does lots for us, and likewise I hope that I help her. And you know what it is? It just gives me that peace and satisfaction in life now. It's going to be all right. It's a lot of hard work building up this relationship, but now I think we're in this amazing place. We've got a brilliant relationship. We laugh and carry on, do you know what I mean? And we can be open and honest with people, with each other, and ask for advice. So thank you, Vicky. You're the most amazing daughter I could ever wish to have. And thank you, Zach. You're the most beautiful little man. And I'm looking forward to the future with you and growing up and trials and tribulations. Zach trying things going wrong, things going right, having a laugh. Looking forward to all that with Vicky and Zach. And my mum, I've got to mention her. She's the only person that stood by with me all my life and never turned me away and never judged me. Thanks, Mum. You don't know how much you mean. So that's kind of me on the recovery kind of thing, and that's kind of my story. I'm still on loads of medication, morning, noon and night. So what? Keeps me well. Get an injection every 12 weeks for, I suppose you call it, ongoing effects of cancer, yeah. Part of life now, isn't it? Yeah, so get that injection, keeps us right for another 12 weeks. Enjoying life, got my own flat, daughter, grandson, mum in my life, few quid in my pocket, loads of friends and life-changing opportunities. It's been a pleasure to share this story with you, and I hope if you ever hear my story again, there's more good news to come. Oh, I forgot one thing. Believe this or believe it not. You wouldn't think life could get better, would you? Find your daughter, work and turn your life around, stop drinking, stop taking drugs. Believe it or not, 10th of October 2017 as well, I got another letter in the door. Whew, this thing weighed about half a stone. It was actually an invite to Buckingham Palace to meet William, Harry and Kate. Wow. Spent 15 quid in Primark, bought the aftershave, the whole whack, the hat, the works. Went all the way down to Buckingham Palace and had a few glasses of elderflower cordial. And would never drink that again in my life. But I met Stephen Fry, I met Ruby Wax, Esther Ranson. People remember Esther Ranson? And there was this guy running around in a tracksuit, probably very expensive, no doubt. And I said to somebody, wouldn't you think he'd have respect? I mean, on my invite it said, formal, looks smart. So I thought, well, I've made an effort. And somebody said, oh, it's a guy called Professor Green. I thought, that can't be right. So I went over and I said, you don't look like the professor to me, pal. And we had a bit of a laugh, carry on, a bit of a chat and a photo taken together. And it was Professor Green, the rapper. And I'm hoping in the future to make a documentary on self-harm with the guy, because he's made some really important and powerful documentaries, yeah, and he's got lots of lived experience himself. So that's hopes for the future. Keep on doing what I'm doing and enjoying what I'm doing and loving life. Thanks. Okay, right, what makes people self-harm? That's enough for me. Are you wakey? Are you awake now? Emotional distress. People can often struggle with difficulties for some time before self-harming. Physical or sexual abuse, and that is a biggie, why people self-harm, okay? Feeling bad about yourself. Another big one is relationship problems with partners, friends and family. That's a major one. Or if you feel that people don't listen to you, you feel hopeless, isolated, alone or out of control. Powerless is another one, as though it feels as though there's nothing you can do to change anything. There's organisations out there, there's special people, there's wonderful people that will support you to do things. Using alcohol or drugs. But they can get as out of control as the rest of your life. And to me, self-harm and alcohol and drugs don't mix, because it gives you that false courage, that false confidence. The amount of times I've cut myself in the past drunk and woke up the next morning and thought, what on earth have I done? Didn't intend to harm myself that much. So it does give you that false courage. So to me, self-harm, alcohol, drugs don't mix. Okay. We're getting there, aren't we? And this isn't common, but it's more common among school children. You might self-harm to show somebody else how distressed you are, or to get back at them, or to punish them. It's not common. Most people suffer in silence and will self-harm in private. How does it feel? That's a question I get asked quite a bit. Well, to me, the only way I can describe it is, if we put a kettle full of water, a boiler full of water here, fill it full of cold water and switch it on to boil. That's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, yeah? Inside me, yeah? Obviously, it'll reach boiling point, and that's when thoughts, feelings, and emotions are totally up here and can't take any more. Otherwise, it'll just boil and everything will spill out. So you turn it down a bit to simmer again. That's the cutting bit. That's the release. That's the control. Yeah? So the only way I can describe it is, it's like a boiler. Can boil it, it takes no water, and you cut it, you turn it down to simmer. And that is the cutting bit, the release, yeah? And then all those thoughts, feelings and emotions start building up again. And then it's just repeating the process. Can't take any more. Release. Okay. And it can become a quick solution for feeling bad. But I can't stress enough, it's not a quick solution, because it causes major problems down the line, yeah? Are people who do mentally unwell? Most people who self-harm have got a mental health problem running alongside, such as depression or anxiety, such as myself. There's loads of different types of mental health issues, yeah? I'm only using myself as an example, yeah? The risk of someone who self-harms is increased that they'll take their own life. Quite obvious, I think. Anyone who self-harms should be taken seriously and offered support. As to me, the problem, and I can't stress this enough, the problem isn't the cutting or the self-harm. The problem is finding out the reason why the person feels the need to do that. Find that out, and you've won the battle, half the battle. Signs to look out for: person becoming withdrawn, spending a lot of time alone, not joining in with activities, or wearing long and baggy clothes. Using my life again, when I was going to this all-boys school, because I lived in Jesmond, which is quite away from the West End of Newcastle, I used to finish school and have no friends to play out with. So I would come home, get my meal off my mum and lock myself away in my room till the next morning. That was me starting to socially exclude myself, I think. That was the start of my problems, yeah. Nobody's to blame. It happened. Life went on the course it went. Full stop. Okay, and like I say, people come to the groups that I run and they've got what I would call scratches. That shouldn't be taken any less serious than really severe cuts. To me, it's down to this, why the person feels the need to do so. Find that out and you've nearly cracked it. If there were any safe places to cut yourself, where do you think it would be? Okay, quick answer is tops of the arms, tummy and tops of the legs, not the inside of the leg because there's a major artery there, but the idea is these are areas of the body with more fatty tissues and less arteries and veins and stuff, so they are seen as safe. Nowhere safe to self-harm, basically, but they are safer places, yeah? Okay, coping techniques. Join a self-injury support group. What's one of them, I hear you asking? Type in Rococo, Newcastle, and you'll find out about all these groups, and there's loads of groups for different things, yeah? All mental health related. There's a 15-minute rule, you know, that insult you get by the crisis team when you ring them up. Clean, read a book, go for a walk, have a bath or watch TV. Believe you me, when you're in that moment wanting to harm yourself, there's not a great deal that'll stop you. And telling somebody to have a bath is like an insult to me. The elastic band, we'll all have heard of this. You put the elastic band around the wrist and ping it. And apparently when you ping it, that gives a sensation that you cut yourself. I don't know if any of these things work because I weren't around when I was self-harming, yeah, but I've heard some of them are very powerful. This isn't advised anymore, the elastic band. Do you know why? Because it can cut the circulation off. Now, as a self-harmer, back in the day, I would think to myself, that would just be adding to my experience. But it's not advised anymore anyway. Keeping some ice cubes in the fridge. The idea is, we obviously got to keep them in the fridge, or they're not ice cubes, are they? Okay. And put some red food colouring in, and the idea is, if you feel like harming yourself, get these ice cubes out and squeeze them. You know what it's like to squeeze something cold, like ice. It can be quite painful. And as you're squeezing them, the ice is melting with the red dye, and it looks like you're actually bleeding. Very, very effective, I believe. Box of memories, putting a box of memories together of good times you've had in your life. And everybody's had good times. It could be a little bottle of scent, aromatherapy, is that what they call all this stuff? Could be a photo, poetry, a drawing, it could be an object, it could be absolutely anything. And the box of memories ties in with the self-harm first aid kit. And the idea is, feel like harming yourself, or you're feeling low, or you're feeling crap, go to this box with all your good memories in, and when you take the lid off, you see all these good things you've done in your life. And at the bottom is the self-harm first aid kit, your blades, your bandages and such like. The idea is you've got to go through the good memories before you get the stuff to harm yourself, and hopefully someone will click in there. So here's one I made earlier. Where is it? This would be my box, right? Self-harm first aid kit, box of memories. You would never give the person the box because they need to have ownership of that box. So I was given this, but I thought this is very appropriate, so this is my box. Now, the box could be the size of this room. It could be a matchbox size. It could be just something to keep in your purse, your handbag, your wallet, or it could be a box like this. Here's what I've got in mine anyway. I've got a pen, and this is a pen I got from a museum. I think it was Southport or something like that. I went with my mum and her partner on a little break, went to the museum. It reminds me of a really good time with my family. I've got this little guardian angel that my mum bought me a number of years ago, and for some reason this little lady here stood with me all my life, and that just reminds me of my mum. My mum's always there watching out. Yeah, got it? Got a little bottle of whiskey here. This is actually real whiskey, can you see it? Yeah, and I actually got this bottle of whiskey from Inverary. My sister booked a holiday, a family holiday for us all. This was before I found my daughter, unfortunately. Would loved her to have been there. And stayed on the Earl of Argyle's property in Inverary. Amazing week. Spent with family, going to Oban, trips out and stuff, and that reminds me of a really special time. But it's got two purposes, this one. Because to me, this reminds me that much alcohol in my body, and that's my life ruined again. So I've got that there, okay. Got this spirit level, another museum trip with family. Anybody know why I've got this? Well, let me tell you. Because I know with my life, I've got to keep that bubble in the middle. A bit too much that way or that way, and that's my life unbalanced again and out of control. So it's keeping that bubble in the middle for me. A lot of people don't like this guy, but I absolutely adore him. It's actually the big yin. Billy Connolly, absolute idol, legend, what a man. The reason I've got Billy Connolly in there is because I can relate a lot to what Billy Connolly went through. Basically what I'm saying is he was abused as a child, really harsh upbringing, and turned his life around, yeah, made comedy. Ridicules health, and now he's living with his own health problems himself, but he's still putting a smile on his face, getting on with life, and I admire him for that. And like I say, I was abused, turned my life around, so I can relate. I'll never be famous, but he is. You know what, good luck to the man. And I know if I'm having a crap day at work, I can go home and get me Billy Connolly DVDs out and have a little laugh with him. He'll always cheer me up, no matter if I watch the show 20 times. So Billy Connolly, always admired you and always will. And I love the stuff you do and the reasons you do it. And what else we got in here? Like I say, you can add anything to this box. I've got me, like I say, they're my good memories, and I need to put some photos of my daughter and my grandson and stuff like that in. You can add, take away, whatever you want. And then you've got your like bandages and stuff, do you know what I mean? Yeah, gloves and painkillers in the bottom. And the idea, like I say, is you've got to go through all these good times before you get to the stuff to harm yourself, yeah? Great idea. I wish I'd had one back in the day. And I mean, you don't have to self-harm to put one of these together. Just get yourself a box of memories, and every time you're feeling down or a little bit crappy, go through your good memories to perk yourself up, okay? So that's the self-harm first aid kit box of memories. Another coping technique is taking a cold shower, releases all the same chemicals in mind, and biting on a hot chilli, releases the same chemicals. And I often thought to myself, maybe it's when I got a bit of spare time, ring the crisis team one night, and when they say, have you had a bath or went for a walk? Say, look, I'm standing in a cold shower, biting on a hot chilli with ice cubes in my hands. What you going to do? You know, just that's just me, though. Anyway, some people will get tattoos, as I explained before. And another one that's apparently very effective is drawing on yourself with a red marker, and I suppose it depends the pressure you put on. And the idea of that is, it's very good, for especially for young people. If you feel like harming yourself, do yourself with the red marker the night before. When you wake up in the morning, you see what actually could have happened. And that one's very good. Somebody mentioned screaming into a pillow. And somebody else mentioned tearing chunks from a phone book. Don't know if you can get phone books anymore. The Yellow Pages used to be like that, but now it's all mobile stuff and internet access. So if you can't, just get a big thick book, I suppose, and tear chunks out of it. Treatment, to me, there's absolutely no treatment, but you need to put a focus on the whole person. There could be underlying problems such as stress, anxiety, depression, relationship problems, employment problems, financial problems, health problems. It could be absolutely anything, physical, mental, do you know what I mean? So you've got to take in the whole person's life. There's no treatment, but take in the whole person's life. There could be areas there that need addressing, yeah. Okay, self-help. Keep an emotions diary, and hopefully you'll see what your triggers are and the areas to avoid, people to avoid, situations to avoid, and you might see a pattern. And then I've heard that's very effective. Do things you like. Look after yourself. Healthy mind, healthy body. Yet again, easier said than done when you're not feeling too healthy. Support groups. Rococo, Newcastle. Type it in, remember. Keep a list of good things or memories you've achieved to hand. That goes back to this, the old box. Chris Tarrant said, good coping technique, self-help is talk to somebody, phone a friend, Steve. How simple is that? But I still say it's easier for women to pick the phone up and talk to a friend. Yeah. And this is the answer to everybody's problem. Such an easy answer, but one of the hardest things you can ever be asked to do in your life. If the person or the environment is making you worse, just leave. There's your solution. But how many people are in abusive relationships, controlling relationships, and it's so hard to get out of? Suppose I was married for 10 years, so got some understanding of that. What if you don't get help? It's okay, keep awake, folks, we're nearly there. About 1 in 3 people who self-harm for the first time will do it again the following year. About 300 people who self-harm for over 15 years will take their own